Police have moved into the UCLA campus and are removing the plywood barrier surrounding the anti-Israel encampment. Look at this. They are doing this right now as we speak, live, taking the plywood off. After hours of tense standoff with the protesters, arrests are now being made. We will continue to monitor this breaking situation and show you the pictures as they move this wood out of the encampment. Meanwhile, the House passing the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. The bill now heads to the Senate. It expands the legal definition of anti-Semitism used to enforce anti-discrimination laws. Supporters say it will help colleges crack down on anti-Semitic rhetoric. The updated definition declares anti-Semitism as not only the hatred toward Jews, but also includes certain attacks on the Israeli state. Critics say it will hurt constitutionally protected free speech. 320 lawmakers voted for this bill. 70 Democrats and 21 Republicans voted against it. Joining me now is Utah Congressman Burgess Owens. He is a member of the House Education and Infrastructure Committees. Congressman, thanks very much for being here this morning. How did you vote on this bill?
I voted yes. We have something that's been growing over a while now, Maria. It's called the slow march of Marxism. It's been happening since the 30s. It's been, you see it in policies like the DEI, which is basically a way of dividing us. This has been a slow march, and what we're seeing today is just a culmination of, first of all, cowardice from those within, complicity, because we have Marxists literally in our school systems that's okay with this. This is what they've been training our kids to do. We have our young people going to these colleges that come out radicalized, hating our country, and not able to even see or have the empathy to understand what happened on October 7th. So this is something we've been, it's been attacked for quite a while. I'm thankful, and I'll say this to American people, thank you for giving us a majority, even though it's a small majority. Because of that majority, we have hearings, we can educate the American people, we can talk about these issues, we can start looking at how can we defund colleges that give us this kind of outcome, and put pressure to make sure if you're going to teach hate, we'll take our money, taxpayer money, and put it someplace else. If you cannot have people come to this country, they come here, by the way, from other countries, paying the full tilt, $90,000 in a year, and they come here not to get educated, but to be activists. And these are things that American people are finally seeing, and we're not going to tolerate it. We're tired of it. We're sick of it.
So is this on the table now, taking funding away from these colleges? Is this really going to materialize? You're on the Education Committee. How likely is that, taking money away from colleges that you believe are part of that, what you just said?
Well, it's part of it is the appropriations. We're limited somewhat to what we can really do, and this is I have to understand how our system works. We would love to be able to have a bigger majority, to have the Senate and a president who can turn this thing around within days, but we don't. We have a small majority in one part of our power. So we have to work through what we can work through. Right now, we're educating people. We can look at the appropriation process, try to pull from there. Get pressure on the Senate if we start making this happen. We do have some Democrats that understand that they have to start showing up and pulling away from their party, because their party is not for the Israeli people. Yeah. And they have to start staying up for them and to stay around for sure.
Have you spoken to anyone from the cabinet or the White House? It is now 10 days since we have seen President Biden make any comments on camera about these anti-Semitism protests and rhetoric. He hasn't said a word. All we do know is that the administration is considering sending Palestinians to resettle in America. Former President Trump is slamming these reports that the administration is about to bring in Palestinian refugees into the United States. Here's Trump in Wisconsin yesterday. Watch this.
Crooked Joe is now reportedly planning to bring massive numbers of Gazans from the Middle East. Joe Biden seems he's just determined to create the conditions for an October 7th style attack right here in America. They will be impossible to vet, and as a result of chain migration, the numbers will quickly explode beyond all control. Under no circumstances shall we bring thousands of refugees from Hamas-controlled terrorist epicenters like Gaza to America.
What do you think, Congressman?
Well, that's just plain old simple common sense. What we have, Maria, and I think this is the first time in my life I've seen this, a president who hates our country. We have an anti-American president. We have a border that's wide open. We have chaos on every single campus. And think about this. You see what's happening in L.A. Imagine some of those folks that have been coming through our unvetted borders can be in that crowd today. We can have a terrorist attack as we speak. As these folks come in, it's very normal now. These people are cowards. It's just like the KKK of the 60s. They hide their faces, and these college professors that hide themselves within tenure behind these college campuses, and they attack our system, attack our culture. So now we are, as a nation, across the board, we're tired of the attack on the American system. We're tired of attacking the American flag. And blacks, Hispanics, Jewish Americans are finally having these conversations about this Democratic Party is not for us. We're seeing what's been happening in the dark, in the slow stealth. This Democratic Party is anti-American, it's anti-future for our kids. And they want to divide us. They want us to hate each other. And that's not going to happen. So we now see it. Again, thankful for what we can do, at least educating the American people right now. We get a bigger power. We start pulling dollars away the way American people would love us to have that happen, for sure.
Real quick, Congressman, before you go, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's going to introduce her motion to oust the Speaker next week. Speaker Johnson responded with this statement: this motion is wrong for the Republican conference, wrong for the institution, wrong for the country. Your thoughts on this motion to vacate, Speaker Johnson?
I definitely agree with him. Now's not the time. Okay. I respect my colleague, but her passion's in the wrong place. Let me just say this: we had a chance to put HR 2 on the floor. Yeah. We have rules in which we have our guys in our own party voted against the rules with the Democrats, so we could not have an up and down vote. That's where the arrow should be put. Those within our party that did not allow us to vote for the border because they were so against Ukraine that they didn't want anything to. They wanted to distract from what the deal is. So we have to get a bigger majority, so we don't have this kind of gamesmanship happening within our own party.
So disturbing. Congressman, thank you. Burgess Owens joining us this morning. Thank you, sir. We'll be watching your work.